Joining us this morning. My name is Dubi Finklshtein, and I will take you through our webinar today, which will focus on starting your own 3D printing services. Okay. So our agenda for today, we'll discuss a little bit about the 3D printing market and the projection for the next few years. The potential customers and the industries for those of you who are looking to start their own business. Why customers are using 3D printing today for both services and in-house. And then we'll dive in a little bit to how to start your own business, how to what should be your target customers, how to target the right technology. We'll discuss a little bit about the overhead and the ROI example, and what kind of support we can provide to you guys to be successful. About the 3D printing market, there's a huge buzz around this industry today, as you all know, and there's a reason for that. This is a very fast-growing market. We're talking about 30% year-over-year for the last years. The future looks very bright for this industry as well. By Wallace Report, which is one of the known industrial, let's say, one of the known market research in the 3D printing industry, researchers predict that the market will continue to grow by 33% to around 21 billion in 2020. Now, when we're talking about that, we're talking about services, consumables, and of course, printer sales. Today, 70% of the market is traditional prototyping, fit, form, functional testing, marketing, and sales prototypes. That's what the 70% of the customer using the printers today. 30% of the market today is manufacturing support and end-use parts, and I will discuss it a little bit later. The manufacturing segment is actually growing faster than the prototyping segment. So we see more and more companies that introducing 3D printing to the manufacturing floor and end-use parts. And an important fact is that the adoption rate in USA is faster than in Canada, which means that we have great potential here in Canada for this industry. So who's going to be our potential customers? There's a growing demand for services from a variety of customers, such as product design companies, companies that need concept modeling, fit and form modeling, functional modeling, and marketing and sales prototypes. That will reduce the time to market and the development cycle dramatically. Manufacturing customers. Big demand for jigs and fixtures, customized jigs and fixtures in the manufacturing flows, tools and dies, functional prototypes, and even end-use parts. We will touch it in a second. Entrepreneurs, right, and students that looking to start their own business is looking to make a prototype, the first prototype of their product, in order to take decision much early, get some funds, and even to use it for a Kickstarter. Other small 3D printers owners that have the consumer product that they need bigger parts, they need more quality parts, or maybe different materials that we don't have. Will use services as well, and of course education and research institute that looking to make prototypes and use parts. Industries such as footwear, toys, dental, architectural, animation and entertainment, consumer goods, consumer electronics, aerospace, automotive, medical and medical equipment, and many more can be our customers and are using 3D printing today. A little bit about the application, what our customers are using the printers for. So fit and form and functional prototypes, design verifications, that's a part of track bikes, end-use parts, interior for airplanes, for example, custom prosthetics, and we will touch about the sweet spot of 3D printing, but anything that needs to be customized, 3D printing is the best solution today. Injection molding in prototype made tools. So you actually can print the molds in 3D printing in 3D printers today and use it for injection molds to inject parts up to 100 parts from a single mold. Jigs and fixtures. for the manufacturing floor, and we will touch it in a second. Entertainment market. Lots of movies were made with the 3D printers today, and TV shows as well, so that's a growing industry for this technology. Medical devices and surgical. So, you know, the technology today and the resolution of the parts you get from the printer is great, and it advanced dramatically in the last few years. So today, surgeons can plan and prepare for surgery with 3D printing organs that they can get from MRI scans or CT scans. Dental industry, that's another fast-growing industry for 3D printing technology. Here, for example, it's teeth aligners. So there's a few companies that are using 3D printing stone models for and with vacuum forming, creating the teeth aligners, which is much faster than milling machines that we used to use in the past. You know, we are being affected by 3D printing on a daily basis. So every product that we are touching, 3D printing have a part of the design or the manufacturing of this part, right? It could be our speakers, our iPad, iPhone, car seats, even our car dashboard. It's all being used. All those companies use 3D printing in the design cycle or during the manufacturing cycle. And the sweet spot of 3D printing. The sweet spot of 3D printing is anything that's related to customization and complex parts, and of course low volume quantities. You know, if you need one off, if you need 5 off, so that's the right spot of 3D printing. High volume manufacturing, it's still going to be more efficient to go with old manufacturing techniques like injection molding, for example. Right? 3D printing is going to be efficient if we need to do complex geometries and low quantity of parts. So why customers are using 3D printing today? Let's start with prototyping. So, you know, prototyping with 3D printing is much cheaper than any other option today, and of course faster. So when you have an in-house 3D printer, or if you use services, it's usually going to be cheaper, faster, and more convenient than the old manufacturing technique to get your prototyping. So you can take decision early in the design process, and you can test your design faster. Also, what you can do is you can test 4 or 5 different designs in the same time, because the printer can print it for you overnight, and then you have 4 or 5 different designs to test in the morning. By using 3D printing for prototypes and manufacturing application, companies increasing the quality, they're reducing the time to market of product development, which is very important for companies, and they can be of course more competitive like that. Most of the companies use services for 2-3 years before they invest in an in-house printer, which is very important for folks like you guys that are looking to start their own business. Trek bikes, for example, they spend $275K a year before they purchase the first printer. Today they have 3 printers in-house. And as we said, the adoption rate in Canada is slower than in the US, so most of the companies in Canada today are looking for services and are not ready yet to purchase printers. Companies that purchase printers continue to use services for overflow and different technologies. We have different technologies, and it's hard to find a technology that's going to fit 100% of your application. So usually what happens, companies purchase printers that answer 80% of their needs, and then the rest, 20%, they will still use services for that. And of course, if they need a capacity or they have overflow, they will use services as well. There are parts and geometries that you cannot do with other technologies, but you can do only with additive manufacturing. And that's another big advantage of this industry. Let's discuss about some examples. We talked about prototyping and the value of prototyping for companies. I would like to talk about this example from the agricultural market. This is a company named ACO. They were looking to design their white printers 900 series, and they used to prototype out of aluminum, and that was very costly for them. Each prototype was between $5,000 to $7,000. And the thing about this, the agriculture market is a very seasonable business. They usually develop the products from the fall to the spring, the testing period is very short. It's only during the spring period, and then they roll the product out. So they have something between 5 to 7 weeks to test the product before they roll it out. In the past, they used to get one prototype in 7 weeks, and today with 3D printing, they not only save money, about $5,000 per prototype, but I think the most value for them was the saving of time. Instead of one prototype in 7 weeks, they can get 5 prototypes. They can test 5 prototypes in 5 weeks and get the decision much earlier. So that was the most valuable thing for them for using 3D printing for prototyping. Jigs and fixtures, more toward the manufacturing applications. So let's look about this jig. This jig is the size of your hand. You can fit it in your hand. It's made out of 3 different parts. The the regular way or the old way to make these jigs, of course, to go to drawings and make 3 different parts. And let's compare this this jig from the traditional way to the 3D printed way. So the traditional way is going to be a project. We need the 4 parts numbers, we need 3 parts file, 1 assembly file, 4 drawings, 4 DFX file, inventory check, and the list goes on and on. But it's a project that takes time, right? 3D printing is a much easier process and much easier way to make this jig. Basically, what we need is 1 part number, 1 STL file that we can get out of almost every CAD software today, and then we can print the part. Very easy process, so we just turn it from a project to a task. So the benefits of using jigs and fixtures with 3D printing, the first one, of course, going to be time and cost saving, between 40 to 90% lead time reduction and 70 to 95% cost reduction as well. Streamlined and efficient process. So we eliminate detailed drawings, we minimize the PO and payment requirements, and it becomes a task, not a project. And of course, it's digital inventory, right? So we don't have to hold anything on the shelf. We have everything in our computer, and once we need it, we just print it. It doesn't have to be only in this location. We can print it in different locations as well. So we just save money and on inventory as well. A nice example for jigs and fixtures came from BMW. They were looking to do a jig that helped them to mount the logo on cars. They used to use a metal jig for that, which was not so ergonomic, and they have to compromise on the shape. But with 3D printing, basically, there's a freedom of design, so there's no limitation to the shape. Also, with 3D printing, you can make it more ergonomic and lighter. So you can do it with sparse filling that reduce the weight by 72%. And you can change the design to be more ergonomic for the employees that are using it. And of course, it's not going to damage the car. So by switching to 3D printing from aluminum, they save 58% on the cost and 92% on the time as well, right? So instead of 18 days, it went down to 1.5 days, and the cost went down from 420 to 176. And of course, reduction in rework. So when using 3D printing, yeah, you reduce your risk for reworks and any kind of errors that might happen later on. So the summary of benefits of the 3 cases that we went through: the BMW fixture, it's 58% reduction in cost, 92% reduction in lead time, rework reduction, and it's more safe and ergonomic to use. Echo, they reduced 85% in the prototyping time, which was the most important thing for them. 40 to 70% reduction in direct cost, 70% fewer parts that needed for this prototype, and strong customer value proposition. And the fixture itself, 40 to 90% lead time reduction and 70 to 95% cost reduction. Okay, so now when we understand a little bit the 3D printing industry and the value that this industry can bring to customers, let's drill down to the 3D printing business. So how can we start a successful business, and what do we need to do to get a successful business? The first thing that I always recommend customers is target your potential market. Don't go and say, hey, I'm going to provide services to all the industries because it's not going to be, it's not going to happen. You need to decide what your customer needs. You need to understand exactly what kind of application will be, you know, will be good for them, and the advantages of using 3D printing for those applications. For example, if we target the manufacturing industry or automotive industry, so we know exactly what kind of application the automotive industry needs, and by doing that, we will look for the right technology, the right 3D printing technology that will answer this, those needs and those pains that these guys have. Same thing with medical, same thing with education. So, you know, it's important to first decide what's the market that I'm going to look after. You know, after that, it's we need to find the right solution. The right solution, it's the right technology. We have different kind of technologies of 3D printing out there today. There's SLA, SLS, there's polyjet technologies, inkjet technologies. There's fused deposition modeling, the FDM technology. So it's important to understand what will be the right technology for the industry that I'm going after. And then, of course, I need to get, or I need to have the right design tools. So it could be CAD or even Magics to fix files if I need to. I need to train my employees, and we can help with that. You know, we have trainings in-house and on-site. But it's important that at least the people that are going to use the printer will know how to take advantage of this you know, expensive equipment and provide the right service to the customers. And the last thing is, of course, marketing and sales. So, you know, it's important to do the right launch events, social media, 3D Print Hub, which is an online service website, and etc. So, you know, we can help with Javelin to market it up and sales and come up with the right business strategy. Let's look about a real-life example, and this drilling bit is a bit that we printed to one of our oil and gas customers. This bit was made out of ABS plastic, and the size of this bit is 7.9 inches on the x-axis, 7.75 on the y-axis, and 13.4 on the z-axis. So what was our overhead, or what's going to be your overhead if you would like to print this part? Let's start with the printer. Let's assume that we're buying a printer for 200K, and we're looking on 5 years depreciation. Average use time, 2,000 hours per year, which is basically 5 days a week, and 40 hours a week, multiple 52. So the cost per printing hour will be the cost of the printer divided by 2 hours, which is in 5 years, which is $20 an hour. So, you know, when we want to quote a part, we start with the printing time. The printing time of this bit on this specific printer was 37 hours. We have, of course, different kind of printers. Might be faster, but you know, let's take this example for now. And then let's look on our direct cost, which are the material and the support. The average cost for the material is $5 per cubic inch, and this material, this part uses 77.26 cubic inch of model material and 31.2 cubic inch of support material. So the cost of the model material is $386, and the cost of the support material will be $156. And then the labor. You know, we have some labor to prepare the part for printing and a little bit of post-processing. So overall, the good thing about 3D printing is that it's very light on labor. Most of the stuff are, you know, hands-free. Even the support removal is hands-free. So the labor for this part was not so much, but 30 minutes. And we calculate based on $40 an hour. So the labor here is $20. So our total cost is $1,500. Let's assume that we are looking to get 50% margin, so the end use price is going to be $22.53. That's how we're gonna price this part for the customer. Now let's see how we can justify the equipment based on this part, and that's an example. Of course, there's a different kind of case study that we can go, or different kind of ROI that we can go, and we'll be glad to help with that. But based on this part, let's assume that we are targeting a customer who needs a part which can fit to an envelope of 16 by 14 by 16 inches, and need a variety of thermoplastic materials. It can be nylon, it can be ABS plastic, polycarbonate, and even high-temp material like the Alton, which can go to 200 C. So we estimate the printing cost, including cleaning station, tax, and shipment, to be 200K. Lease to own this printer for 5 years is going to be a little bit less than $4,000 a month. Average margin for this part is $16.91. It's the revenue minus, of course, the direct cost that we just discussed before. Number of monthly printing hours to break even for this specific part is 108 hours a month. Now the potential is much higher, right? So we have, if we take 6 days a week and 22 hours a day, because as we said, the printer can work, unattended. So we can run parts overnight, you can run parts over a weekend, and you don't have to babysit the printer. So let's say the maximum margin we can get from 6 days a week is 18,480 minus our monthly cost, so it's a margin of 14.5K. If we multiply it by 12, we get a revenue of actually, a profit of 175K a year, which means that the return of the investment is going to be a little bit more than a year, but it's very close to a year. That's an example of return of investment for this specific industry. Partner with Javelin. So, it's important, when you want to start a business, to have a partner that can support you. And we here in Javelin have a good infrastructure that we can support, and we're already doing it. So we have a few customers that started and they're very successful, and of course we are looking to help to other customers. We are here in Javelin. We are not in the 3D printing services business, but we have lots of experience with 3D printing and 3D CAD. We have more than 4,000 customers across Canada, 6 offices. So we can help with the CAD constellation. We can help with the launch strategies, invest in marketing activities, business and marketing support as well, technical support all over Canada. We can do backup printing. We offer financing and leasing options. So basically, we can cover the whole needs that you might have to make sure that you'll have a good functional business, and you start it correctly, right? You get the right product for your industry that you decide to go after. You get the right training for your people. You get the right software that you need to run the printer, and maybe even fix files of customers that sending files. We'll be close to you. If you need services from us, like technical services or application support for specific applications, so we are close to you and we'll be glad to help. And of course, backup. So in case something go wrong and you need some backup printing, we are there to help. So, to summarize our webinar, which was short, but I hope it helped a little bit. And if you have further information that you would like to get, we'll be glad to help here in Javelin. There is a high and growing for this growing market, right? So the 3D printing is growing 30% year over year. There's a huge buzz around it. Lots of people are looking to try it and see how they can incorporate this technology in-house, but they're not sure if they're ready to invest in capital equipment right now. So they're probably going to start with services. Because this is a growing market, there are high margins in this business. And we expect that those margins will stay there for the next 3 to 5 years. Low overhead costs. The printers are, it's not like a CNC machine that needs to be programmed, and it's not like the consumer product that needs to be babysitted. Those printers are commercial printers that they're hands-free. Even the post-processing is hands-free, so it's low overhead cost. And diverse your business, multiple sources of revenue. That's a big advantage. Not for example, machine shops or a model shop that's looking to get different kind of revenue sources in-house. Also, what we see from other customers that when they introduce 3D printing, it's helped them to boost their current business. So it basically drives more traffic to the current business that they have. For example, the UPS store in the United States, there are 56 stores today that introduce 3D printers. and it helps them to ramp up their 2D printing business as well, and even shipment. So more people that come into the store today, it creates traffic, and it helps them to increase their current business as well. Be innovative. Customers like companies that being innovative and using new technology, and 3D printing is the next big thing. With we really believe that's going to be the next industrial revolution. So it's always good to be ahead of the curve and provide innovative solution to customers and of course to different companies and be ahead of the competition, right? This is important. We always want to be innovative, and we always want to be ahead of the competition, and this is a good industry to start with. That's all for now. Thank you for joining. Well, my name again is Dubi Finklshtein. I'm the Director of 3D Printing and Additive Manufacturing at Javelin. We'll be glad to have discussion with anyone that would like to get more information and help you guys to be successful. Thank you very much. Have a great day.